Now we start with another topic in occupational health, which is important from examination point of view and also from NEET point of view. That is pneumoconiosis. Pneumoconiosis can come to us in university examination in two forms. Firstly, there can be a note on pneumoconiosis, and secondly, one of the pneumoconiosis like siderosis, silicosis, asbestosis, bagasosis, anthracosis can be asked. What we will do is to study them together so that I can or we can do write the note on pneumoconiosis, and also with the same knowledge with some modification write a note in one of the pneumoconiosis. The first thing we have to understand and remember, both for NEET and next point of view as well as university examination, that it is the fibers or dust of 0.5 to 3 micron which is cause of the problem. Sometimes NEET will give a figure of 0.5 to 5 micron. So if that one can also be correct. So remember, it is 0.5 to 3/5 micron which is the cause of problem. Agent we have to remember, that name we have to remember, we can't do. So coal causes anthracosis, iron causes siderosis, silica causes silicosis, asbestos causes asbestosis. The cotton dust causes biocinosis, and cane sugar, गन्ने का fibers causes bagasosis. So these names we have to remember, because these names can be directly asked in NEET next, and we cannot falter on these, because these are the easy questions which NEET or next will give you. NEET and next will always give you some questions which are repeat questions and which are direct knowledge based questions, because NEET doesn't want you to score less than 50% of marks. NEET wants at least a large number of students to cross that benchmark, and we shouldn't falter on these questions. So agent you have to remember. Then we can complete, or in our theory answer, we will complete a epidemiological triad model. So I will write some factors under host. So I will say elderly are more at risk, so smokers are more at risk. Those who are not using personal protective measures are more at risk. Those who have got some respiratory infections, disease like asthma or COPD or tuberculosis are more at risk. And under environmental factor, because they are respiratory diseases, so I can always write poor ventilation, overcrowding increases the risk. Then I can write pathogenesis. If it is single disease, I can also write. If I have to write on pneumoconiosis, I can also write the same thing. I will write the coal dust will enter into me if I am writing about the anthracosis. That is cold, because of coal dust, and it causes inflammation, it causes irritation, then it causes inflammation, then it causes fibrosis. Fibrosis leads to pulmonary deranged function, and which leads to respiratory failure in advanced stage. So these are common. I have written under pathogenesis. Then I can write under investigation common things, or how you will diagnose. You will take history. I will do the physical examination, which will show me, because it is fibrosis, so restriction of lung, expansion will be decreased, and there will be coarse crepitations because of fibrosis. Then I can respiratory pulmonary function will be deranged. FEV1/FEC will be decreased. X-rays will show changes of findings of fibrosis. Two X-rays are important. In silicosis, we get snowstorm appearance. So remember S with S. And in asbestosis, we get glass ground appearance. So these two terms have been mentioned. NEET will ask you. Then we come to the prevention. Prevention is common. We have got medical measures, we have got engineering measures, we have got personal protective measures, respirators we can use, and we have got legislation where I can mention the provisions of the Factory Act, ventilation, the 500 cubic space of this thing should be available, it should be, environment should be monitored. So what I am trying to tell you here is that we can make a combined notes on pneumoconiosis so that we can do individual as well as pneumoconiosis as a whole. 2-3 points are specific which I will explain now. One is asbestosis is associated with mesothelioma. One. Second is bagasosis is associated with one fungus. It is the presence of fungus is required in bagaceae, that is the cane sugar fibers, to cause the disease. So that fungus is actinomyces. Now that fungus can be, if we kill the fungus, we can prevent the disease. So that fungus can be killed by 2 additional methods which are specific to bagasosis. If we keep the water contact of the bagaceae, that is the cane fibers which are fibers which are there, bagaceae which is there, if we spray it with water and keep its water content or humidity more than 20%, that actinomyces fails to develop. Or we can spray it with a fungicide, that is 2% propionic acid. Another point which is useful to remember is that silica is related with tuberculosis. So there is a term which is called silicotuberculosis. So silica makes us prone to tuberculosis, and tuberculosis makes us prone to silicosis. This we have studied earlier also when we were doing the previous lecture, one of the lectures when we were doing silicosis and tuberculosis relationship is there. So I will stop here, make your notes on pneumoconiosis. My notes, as I have told you much earlier, I don't want to like to repeat it many times, I'm not keen to earn money, is that my notes are available now on Amazon. You have to type Varun's note for MBBS students, or you can just write community medicine, Varun notes, and occupational. There is a book or a small book on occupational disease along with, I think, 2 more chapters are there. I think one is disaster and one is probably mental health. So I have combined the 3. These notes, if you listen or if you read after these talks, they will be very useful. But you can study from the book, any of the textbook, which are all textbooks are good, and you can underline them, make your own notes. You can do, if you don't want to use my notes, it's better to prepare. Your notes are definitely better than mine because they have been prepared by you. So I'll stop here, and next time we will do 2 small topics in occupational health. Ergonomics I want to explain, and then occupational cancers, 2-3 points in that. Thank you.